Hey guys, how's it going? Today I just want to take you through some simple ideas for some ambient type playing, especially for those of you guys who play in church and maybe there's a ministry time or a prayer time or in between time between songs, just kind of a quiet moment with just some instrumental music. Here's some simple things that you can do to create some nice ambience behind that, especially in a worship set. So let me give you some simple ideas of what I use to do that and to get that sound. Basically, it's best if you have some delay and reverb. I normally use two delays, an analog and a digital delay. So there's two delays going there. And you normally set them, for ambient stuff, set them a little bit higher mix and higher repeats, and you'll get that kind of sound. You can swell on, if you only have delays, you could just use the delay like that. But if you have a reverb pedal, set it again to a fairly high mix, depending on what you're going for. And there's the reverb. Okay? And you get that big kind of cathedral hall sort of a sound. This is the Nuneba, however you say that, Seraphim Mono Shimmer. So it's basically the same as the Nuneba wet reverb, except it's got a shimmer mode, which is pretty cool too, so you can do this. Okay, that kind of organ pad type thing, but I'm going to take that off. Okay, so here's some things that I use, chord shapes and basic ideas. So let's take it in the key of G. And let's just imagine the keyboard or the acoustic guitar or whatever is just playing the G and the C, or the C add 9. A chord progression like that. Okay? That's with all the effects on now, by the way. What you can do is triad chord shapes, rather than playing the full swell, which is a little bit too much to play the full chord with a swell. Is going to give you a big sound. It's still cool, but it might be a little bit much during a ministry time. So instead of playing the full G, go up here to your G triad, which is a D shape. If you're not sure of triads, just check out, I've done some videos on them too. Basically, D, you can slide this shape right up the neck. D, E, F, G. Okay, D shape, but that's a G now. So find your G triad if we're in the key of G. And you can do like a D, and when it goes to the C chord, like a D suspended. Put your pinky on there. Let me add the reverb. And you get that really sweet ambient sound. I prefer to play the higher strings with this kind of ambient stuff because it doesn't get in the way. If you play too many bass, like, it's just going to get a bit muddy. So try and stick on the higher strings and play triads like that. Now normally it's easier if you have a volume pedal. I just don't, for practical reasons. It can't fit on this compact board that I have to carry around Tokyo on the trains. It's just too heavy and too big. Sometimes I borrow a friend's and use it at church, but I don't have it at the moment. So I'm just doing the old school with the pinky, swelling on the volume on my Strat here, which is really handy. So basically you turn the volume off, strike the strings or the chord with your pick, and then quickly but smoothly bring on the volume and you'll get that swell kind of a sound. So triads like that. You can do that over the top of a G chord or a C chord. Again, I sometimes just play the top of the chord, so if that's a G, just the top 3 strings would be 1, 2, 3, okay? Swell that on. Then to the C, you play the top of the C chord, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so G, so you can see that. Okay, and then take it up, right up the octave. You can do the same thing. So right up here on the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th fret, you could technically play a G right up there, okay, and a C add 9 up the octave. So just play again the top 3 strings and those notes. Okay, and then the rest of it is just the G major scale if you're in the key of G. Single note swells. Okay, so there's some ideas for you. Learn your G major scale if you don't already. So let me give you an example. I recorded this just before. Just imagine it's G, and there's the G and the C. Okay? So there's your chord progression there. Let's use some of those ideas to swell. Take the volume down of that one a little bit so you can hear it a bit better. Okay, let's go down here to the open G. Take it up, right up the octave to the 15th. Just use the major scale, do some single notes. So as you can see, use some vibrato even with the chords. Just give it a little vibrato there. And then, if it's appropriate, depending on how quiet it is, you can put a little bit of light dry. Okay, So that's all in the major scale. I just put on my TS9 tube screamer. It's only on about 10:30, 11 o'clock. It's not a lot of drive. And you can get those sweet kind of ambient sounds. So I hope that just gives you some ideas. So go and have some fun with that. God bless. See you next time.